What is up, y'all? Tonight we're going to be talking about eggplant a little bit. So I grew over 100 different varieties of fruits and vegetables in my garden this year to test out what grows the best in Zone 10A in San Clemente, California. So let's talk about the different varieties of eggplant. Eggplant, I didn't have as many as some other things because it's not one of my favorite crops and I don't have a lot of experience growing it. That being said, I've had my favorite dinners when I'm cooking up smaller varieties of eggplant, such as Japanese or Asian varieties, rather than like the big Italian black beauty that everyone is so familiar with for like an eggplant parm. I just don't really find that they're as versatile, or the texture is something that I really love. It's just a lot of food, but it just doesn't really do it for me. So these smaller varieties that are thinner skin, or like these Asian type varieties, I really enjoy a lot more. So we're going to be talking mostly about smaller varieties of eggplant. They're going to be easier for you to grow at home. You're going to get more fruits off of it. And so you can just have like one for dinner instead of having like, oh, this is a giant eggplant and I'm only one or a couple people. And more fruits overall, even though they're a little bit smaller, and I do think they're more tasty. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start out with my favorite ones this year. One of my favorite eggplants this year was the Listata di Gandia. This is an Italian heirloom, and look at how beautiful the striping and the coloration is on these. It's a nice thin skin, really creamy flesh, and they're really tasty. Not bitter, and they were really easy and versatile to cook. You could fry them, you could bake them, you could do whatever you want with them. They are really pokey, so don't stab yourself when you're harvesting them. And I liked how these fruited because they give you one, and they give you another one, and they give you another one. Sometimes other varieties will produce all the fruit at once, such as this Little Fingers. And it's not to say that you won't get consecutive harvests off this. It's just so many fruits all coming onto the plant at the same time. So this was a really fun variety to grow. These are a little bit smaller than some of the larger ones, but this plant's kind of fizzling out at this point. But the Little Fingers eggplant, they really look like hands like clumped on the plant when they're growing, because you'll have so many flowers on this plant at once, and then the clusters of fruit have multiple little eggplants on them. So this is really productive. These were good, easy to grow, and I got a good harvest off of them. And these are really tasty, versatile little eggplants. So try Little Fingers if you want to have an easy time and a lot of smaller size eggplants. This is a very sought after variety, the Ping Tongue eggplant. And it's an Asian variety. I'm not sure which country it's from. I think it's Chinese, though, to be honest. And these are so beautiful, the little white streaking. And these have been really healthy and productive and vigorous and consistently giving a fruit here and a fruit there, like the Listata. So these are really good. Try out the Ping Tongue. I had a lot of success growing this in Zone 10A. Another one that I wanted to try to grow this year was the Casper, and these were really fun. Just the all white eggplant. In the light, this thing is really glowing. And when these are just forming on the plants, they really just look like little eggs, little bleached eggs. So this is a pretty productive variety as well, and it seems to be growing fairly easily. So another one to try out if you're looking for not one of those thinner, longer ones, but kind of an in-between medium and round oval, you know. So both of these are actually very similar. So if you want the Casper, the Listata, I don't know what the heat requirements are for each one, but you could try them both out and see which one does better for you. They were both great in my opinion. So those were my favorites of the year. Although I also tried to grow the diamond eggplant this year, which is going to be sort of similar, longer but more round and very dark black. It didn't really do well here in Zone 10A. We don't have the hottest, driest summer that they get more inland, and I gave some of these plants to my buddy that lives in the canyon area, and he got a lot of nice diamond eggplants off of his. Really black and just a little bit longer, but the round shape, but more oblong and a little bit thinner. So those were nice if you do have enough heat to grow them. One other variety that I probably wouldn't grow again is the Turkish orange eggplant. So a lot of the older varieties of eggplant are round, and I found this one to be very bitter and astringent. I don't know if it was just the way it got grown here. I've also heard that they do better if you harvest them a little bit less ripe, those Turkish orange ones, or that you have to prepare them special, blanching them with salt or something to get the bitterness out. So I didn't know exactly what needed to be done for those, but I probably won't grow them again. They were beautiful. They look like little tomatoes, like little orange stripy tomatoes. But yeah, I'm also looking for food to eat. So no on the Turkish orange for me next year. I'm going to do these four varieties that I showed you, and then I'm also going to grow the Nagasaki long, which is pretty similar looking to this, but more black with a little hooked nose. And that's a Japanese variety that's very sought after. And I want to give it a go next year with these ones. And I think that'll be it for me because I'm really happy with all of these. It's more eggplant than I could ever need, so I've been giving lots of those away. And for my eggplants, my peppers, tomatillos, uh, to name a few, those plants all did so well in the fabric grow bags. So rather than putting those in my wooden raised beds, putting them in those like plastic fabric felt grow bag things, um, yeah, it's plastic, but they just grew so well, the drainage out of those. So I had massive plants that yielded me a lot. So I highly recommend get yourself some grow bags and go at least 7 gallon per plant. But if you can go up to 10 gallons per plant, then you're probably going to be in an easier situation with watering and get a bigger, more productive plant. So if you've never grown eggplant before, you should give it a try. You can start sowing them in spring and get them out there in the late spring, and you should be planting your last eggplants by late summer out here at the very latest, or else you're not going to get any. So I'm still getting tons of eggplant. I still somehow have some plants just coming into production, and it's a really fun year. I've actually never grown a really nice eggplant before this year, and I just grew a lot of varieties from seed, and I had a lot of success. So it was really fun. The timing is everything. Do not let your eggplants become root bound in their pots, or it's going to severely slow down their production in my experience. So keep them moving along. As soon as you see the roots are really starting to get to the bottom of the pot, you got to up pot it. All right. So, and they are thirsty right after you up pot them, but then you can really tell because the leaves are drooping. And once they get established, they're pretty hardy plants, and careful not to stab yourself when you're harvesting. Like I said before, that's a great eggplant review. I will be continuing to review different groups of plants that you could have in your garden. And like I said, I grew hundreds of varieties. I'm not going to be reviewing every single thing that I grew, but I'll be reviewing all the peppers, all the tomatoes, and a few different things that I did really well with this year that I think I have a lot of insight to share with you guys. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Peace.